Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of HomeKit Insider. You got me, as always, Andrew O'Hara. Joining me this week, I am very stoked. I've been trying to get someone on from a while, but it is Noah Dentzel, the co-founder and CEO of Nomad. If you're an Apple fan, you probably know very much about Nomad, between cases, chargers, all sorts of things. So we're going to talk about their new product launch, as well as a bunch of other things. So Noah, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Hey, happy to be here, Andrew.
Well, I guess we should start off with the news, which is very easy because Nomad launched a brand new product. This is I've got one, I know you've got one in your hands too. This is the Nomad Tracking Card, I believe is the official name of this, the Nomad Tracking Card, which is a Apple Find My enabled tracker for your wallet. You want to give us a rundown of this thing?
Yeah, so pretty simple. What separates it from some of the other stuff out there is it's Qi rechargeable there. So I have a lot of AirTags, and one of the annoying things is you run into this problem where they're dead. Even if it's a year later and then you have 4 or 5, you always have one dead on you. And if it happens to be your passport, that sucks. And this is really thin. As you can see, we say about 2 credit cards. And it's rechargeable via Qi. So we have a lot of Qi around our world. It's getting more and more there. So easy to charge it up. 5-month battery life. And it's really slim, so you can sneak it in places. And like it's crazy this day and age. We have to keep track of so many things. So I really have found that, like, for our own mental health, these tracking products are just like peace of mind. And so that's really a valuable thing with all the stuff we need to carry with us these days.
It is remarkably thin. I have another one here from another company that's also advertised like 2 credit cards thick. You're not be able to see this on the camera very well, but it is thinner. It is thinner. This is the Pebble Bee one, which I believe is also rechargeable, I think. But yours is definitely a little bit thinner. One of the downsides, though, is that you guys don't have a speaker included on yours. What was the thought there on the speaker?
So,
Oh, you do have a
sure.
speaker on it.
Yeah,
I
are you
didn't
not
even
hearing
see it anywhere on the product page. So there we go.
Yeah, maybe we didn't put that on the product page.
I have your box right here, and it just says track with Find My. It's then it's 2 credit cards, rechargeable, then slim and MagSafe. No mention of a speaker. So that's good to know, because I hadn't even went through the setup yet. I just got mine in my hand.
Okay. Well, that is, we're always updating things.
Well, that is awesome. So I'm glad there's a speaker. I also really like that not only is it Qi, but it works like your MagSafe chargers too. So like if you have a Qi2 or a MagSafe one, it can actually hold itself up there. Like it can hold its weight and hover. So if you have a vertical Qi2 or MagSafe stand, it just goes right on there. Then there's a little charging light. So that's pretty sweet. Also IPX7 resistance, so submergible for 1 meter, 30 minutes, pretty standard. If it's going in your wallet, shouldn't be too much more than that unless you dropped it in a lake, in which case you're kind of in trouble as it is.
Yeah.
And then $40 for this guy.
Yeah. So, and I think, yeah, on the magnetic note, it kind of goes without saying that it's very light. So, sometimes when things are too heavy, they might not hold up on the Qi, but, yeah.
Sure. So we can come back to talking more about Find My and other stuff. Also, I just want to get, we're doing this, we're actually live streaming this also on TikTok right now. Let me know, you guys, if we should do this again. I know you can only hear kind of my half of this since it's going through the phone, but this is interesting. So if anyone gets any questions on live, we'll ask. I'll talk. Noah and I will break them down if anyone has any questions.
Dish them out to us.
Yes. So let's go. We're going into Govee. Govee has some new outdoor lights. They actually came out with a bunch of products, but there's only 2 that are Matter enabled, which are the ones that we're excited for. So there's a new wall light, $90, one pack, $170 for a 2 packs of $10 savings. Full color, mount on the wall, look really nice. There's also the Triad floodlight, which is really unique. It looks like 3 like, I wish I had one around, like 3 like key lights that like a creator would use, but they have stakes on them and they go in your yard and they shoot up at your house and you can control each light independently. Both those work with Matter. That's 150 for that 3-in-1 floodlight. I don't know. The floodlight seems a little weird to me, though, because it's like you put it like right in your yard. You have to like mow around it, at least in the pictures.
Like
I don't know if
here's
I
the thing about lights. My co-founder Brian is a big lights guy. There are lights people out there, and there are details and things that matter to lights people, and I absolutely respect them and the lighting that they do. I'm actually not one of the lights people, but I'm aware of them, so I can understand how something like this is badass and important.
I like I have like the ones that go around my gutters, which I really like, and they're almost like a security thing because I can trip them with motion sensors. And Govee did just release an outdoor motion sensor. It's like $30, but it doesn't work with Matter, which is a little bit of a downside. But either way, those are available. Linked in the show notes as usual. Um, Moving on, we got a new AirPlay streaming device. It's from Acrylic. It looks like the name. There's a lot of these out there. This is a new one. Connects via AirPlay, so you can connect to any of your older speakers, connect to this, and AirPlay through it. Pretty kind of standard stuff, just a new one out there. And of course, it's AirPlay, just not an AirPlay, just no longer AirPlay 2. Apple changed that naming, kind of annoyingly enough. Okay. Do you have any sliding doors in your house, Noah?
I have two actually.
Well, okay. Well, patio doors. Do yours just slide, or do you have any that like open out? That's like a patio door.
No, we have just the slidings.
See, that's what
I'm
I've got.
jealous of this door though.
It looks so cool, and I got so hyped. I was trying to buy it before I had even jumped into this. But this is a new Matter over Thread smart lock for patio doors, and it's the ones that you can like twist and push out for a patio versus a sliding one. And I thought when I saw patio doors, I immediately thought sliding, and I got really excited because like when we have people come over, you're like a dog sitter and stuff, it'd be nice just to be able to unlock that one door, or when we go to bed, have that one locked too. Because we're always unlocking it during the day for the dogs. And when I say that good night scene, lights turn off, shades close, the front door locks, everything like that. But your back door, my patio door, doesn't do it automatically. We have to manually do it. This would have been great. I've never heard of this company before. SecuyoU. DK. Is that Denmark? Is it a Dutch company?
Denmark. Yeah.
Okay.
The Danes do. There's another lock, a smart lock that's called Dana lock. It's the Danes. They have some smart lock stuff going on up there, and something they do really well and absolute respect is their design. But we got to keep in mind too that Denmark, Bang & Olufsen's probably the oldest, different company, but the oldest consumer electronics company in the world that's still around. And they're from Denmark, and they beautiful design, but also they a long history of leading with technology as well. So they've got something going on up there in Scandinavia with some beautiful design and staying current with things. This lock, I gotta say, looks cool. I think it looks really nice when you have your doors and your house and home and stuff. It's nice to have technology that integrates in a beautiful or seamless or rather low key way, not just a big clunky, plastic metal thing with sharp edges on it. And I think that they've accomplished that here from what I could see. Obviously, for me, it's really important to have the right IoT tech, the right Bluetooth, all these different things that just work seamlessly. And perhaps that's the most important thing. But once you've accomplished that design, both in the product ID, but also in the way that it works and looks in a functional sense, is really important. Haven't used this one. It looks cool. I bet it's good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. I cannot wait for a sliding one to get released by somebody. We did get one quick question from our TikTok live stream right now. They're wondering if we're going to see actual true Matter coming to Google's Nest product line. So we're looking at Google Nest and Ring camera / alarm. I do think this is going to happen. This is going to happen eventually. I think what part of it is with the alarms and everything like that. It's not fully in Matter yet, but Amazon is part of the CSA. They are supporting Matter in a lot of different ways. They're very gung-ho about it. So I do think this will happen sooner rather than later. Later.
We're going to be chatting about Qi later, and and USB-C is the same thing. I'm so grateful for universal standards. I want few of them, but I want them where they matter. There's a pun. And so, yeah, like let's go. I'm going a little crazy with so many different systems and stuff. Love IoT, love it all, but it just needs simple. So simple is, I think, a big part of what's going on in technology and design, and certainly IoT right now. Because if it's not simple, it's cool and it's another thing, and then you have to have your app, device, this, that, all these different things, and it's just a pain in the ass.
For sure. Thanks for the question, Matt. So getting back to the news for the week, we had 2 big app updates come out. These are crazy good. These are some of the best app updates I've seen for smart home in a while. Home Widgets has now come to Apple Watch. So full Apple Watch support, control your home from your wrist. HomeKit camera streams, you can put little icons, glyphs, complications right on your watch face. Tap it, jump right into a live stream of your camera. So it could be your doorbell, living room, whatever it is you want to set it as. There's like garage door control, so you can just do that. They have full interactive widgets too on the iPhone, which is fantastic. There's some pretty nice ones. I like the ones where you can see like how many lights you have on or your door lock statuses. All very helpful. So that is out now. Controller has also been updated, version 7. Noah, this is nuts. I don't know if you happened to look at the linked thing that I had put in here before the show, but the way this works, you use the LiDAR on your iPhone to scan your house. You go room by room around all of your furniture, and it creates a 3D model of your home. And then you go and take your smart home accessories. You say, this is my living room. And it says, cool, you have 8 devices in your living room. You can then drop them like pins in that room. So when you go to control something, you can be in the living room and just tap on whatever it is and control it through the app. So much better to me than a list. And they've done what very few people I've seen do. So if your phone doesn't have LiDAR, you've got, an iPhone 15 or something, you don't have LiDAR on there, you can actually borrow a friend's device with LiDAR and use an app clip. So you don't even have to download the app. It just pops up, runs, scans it, creates a file that you can then airdrop to yourself and import your home LiDAR scan and start placing all of your objects. This is crazy cool, using so much tech that we don't usually see people see and take advantage of between LiDAR and app clips, which is such a random thing to still see being actually used. What do you think of this?
I think this is kind of like what we wanted when IoT was all the rage 10 years ago. So I'm just super stoked because, and to be fair, I love the early IoT companies and what they were doing and building their devices and making these things work. But these are the kind of controls that are like seamless and intuitive and just that make it easier. One of the problems with early IoT is that it was cool, but it was actually kind of like more work to use. So it was like cool, but I just want to like turn on the light bulb or whatever, So having these things be more integrated and more natural and more seamless is really the hump that we need to get over, because IoT really has not permeated as much as we would have thought, just because
it's kind of slow on the uptake for sure.
Yes, you go into your friends, like, I don't know, super teched out, like pad. And yes, they maybe have it all dialed in, but the average family, they have so much stuff going on and it's hard to keep track of things. It just needs to be really, really, really simple and intuitive. So I think it's almost like this golden age of IoT. I love the pioneers that were around 10, 12, whatever years ago. I remember fondly exhibiting with them at CES, Lockatron, et cetera, so many things. But I think that now these are the types of tools and integration with our devices that they needed and to thrive. So I think we could see a lot of cool stuff happening from this. I'm really stoked myself. I need it to be easy. I got too much stuff going on these days. I need simple. I'm like I remind me of like my dad or something. Like it needs to be like super simple. And that's funny because I'm like not a simple guy.
Did you know the Lockatron folks?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was CES. We were like hanging with them at the Eureka Park. They were just like around at that time, and they were big. Like they had a big thing. They were cool. They were so early, and
They were so early.
it was so cool. And like that, just and not just them, but the class, so to speak, of those days. There were different companies doing different things. There were some promises made that didn't quite pan out. There were some that like did, or they did for like a minute. And there was just, everyone was a little bit ahead of their time. Not everyone, but of course, some stuff, wonderful stuff has emerged, or they were acquired or integrated and this and that. And, obviously, you look at something like Nest, right? The unicorn example.
I've talked about this story before, and I think I want to say his name was Cameron, the one guy from Lockatron, one of the founders or whatever. But if I remember it correctly, I've told this story before, but I had bought the Lockatron and I kept having issues where it wasn't fully closing, and they made me a special deadbolt throw that was tapered so it could pull itself into place. And then I remember I got locked out once, and they were calling and texting me, trying to be able to reach my lock remotely to reset it to get it in. And they were like, "We're going to get you into your house. We'll pay for the locksmith if we need to." Like, they were so great about it. But like you said, it was a little early for what they were trying to do, I think.
Yep, and power to them big time. And yeah, they were, oh man, Internet of Things. It's like, look, we build devices, and we've done Find My integrated stuff before. Obviously, we have Find My integrated thing now, but a long time ago, we did a battery pack or integrated tile. The more you go IoT in some ways, then you're taking two really difficult things and like squaring it. Like all the issues of firmware and software and user interface and all this, and all the issues of hardware. And so when we need to feel better of ourselves, we're just like, man, this is tough. It's like, okay, well, that could be even tougher, I guess. But miniature plug for a friend's company who we actually use here at the office called Authenticate. They have a really cool system for B2B, and it's for access. I know they have the challenges of doing the whole like online digital access and stuff, but also physical access, and that's the app that we used for opening our Bluetooth enabled for opening our door to our office. They work with like, when you think of like a school door or something, these big doors that are like electronic doors. So
I'm waiting for ones like that to build into the wallet, so you can just tap your phone or use your Apple Watch to get in.
Yeah, we call it rockstar mode, where you just walk up to the door and then it opens, so you enter like a rock star. That they don't have an Apple Watch app yet. That's my feedback. I need the Apple Watch app. I need it. I'm all about it.
For sure. We had one more question come in. So this is from Sean Caskey. He says that his HomePod doorbell chime is very quiet and wants to know if there's anything to fix that. And from my understanding, your HomePod chime is set to whatever your volume was previously at. So whenever you used your HomePod last, that volume is what the chime will come out at. So if you had your music quiet, your chime will be quiet. There is no independent control, which is a bummer. I feel like it should be there, but that's my understanding of it.
It's a really good point and question, actually. I like that. It's an issue.
Okay, so that's the news for the week. Oh, also, I think this comes out on the 3rd. I want to plug, I will have a AirPods Max versus Sonos Ace video comparison up. I'm so excited for it. I really like these headphones. We did talk about the pod, because the one smart home aspect of these is there's like that button that you can press and it will swap audio from your sound bar to the headphones and back again. It's got some really cool stuff to it. So if you're interested in headphones, AirPods Max, Sonos Ace comparison up on the Apple Insider YouTube channel and linked in the show notes. So let's go ahead. Let's pivot to all the Nomad things. I guess we should take a step back. Tell me about, how'd you end up starting co-founding Nomad and where things have gone so far, because you guys have done a lot of stuff in your time.
Okay, I gotta say one thing first because you mentioned
Okay.
Sonos. Sonos is a Santa Barbara company. We're a Santa Barbara
Yes.
based company as well. They're the big public one. Um, we're the little one, and it's nice to have them around. And I Apple we make accessories for the smartphones and primarily for the iPhone ecosystem. So I love Apple. So I'm excited to watch that, and I've heard good things about the Sonos headphones, and I know they have some distinct differences, like for DJs because they have the audio line in. So I think there might be some distinct differences on both of them, but super fan of both companies, and I'm excited to see where you get with that, and that's a hot topic around town.
I'm very excited. I got to go out to like their launch event and try them early. So I've been playing around with them for like a couple weeks now, and they're so good. They're so good. And Apple is also just fallen behind in the fact they haven't updated the AirPods Max in
It's been a
years at this
while,
point. Uh,
so
I mean, I'm tired of the
and
Lightning.
competition
Come on.
competition's typically pretty good for us at the end of the day. Maybe one of them's better for a moment than the other one, so I embrace it. I've been waiting to get a new pair of the Apple ones for like a couple of years now.
I
I'm
know, and they're
excited to
beating
check
them
out
to
the
kind of
Sonos ones as
market.
well.
It's going to put people like you in that tricky spot. It's like, man, do I wait for a supposed AirPods Max refresh, or do I jump in now with the Ace that are new and flashy?
I'm probably gonna do both, and I'm excited to do both. So
I'm heading out to Dub Dub, which I'm going to ask you about, but I'm honestly debating on what, like, do I take my Vision Pro? I feel like I have to. Do I take my AirPods Max, or do I take the Sonos Ace? Like, I'm very torn on the whole thing. Uh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't overpack because I already have film
paradox,
equipment to take. So it's gonna be a
paradox of
lot.
choice.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me a story. Tell me about founding Nomad. You
Nomad,
guys
nomad.
started crowdfunding and have grown so much since then.
So yeah, I I'm gonna try to keep it quick. I'm known to go on a bit. I'm trying to work on that.
Chuck warns me.
So 12 years ago, 2012 launched in the summer, so launched in July. So we're coming up on a 12-year anniversary, and me, Brian, and another guy, Adam, did this Kickstarter together, and it went really well. Which at the time that was 160K, which is very meager sum to start something with, actually. But it was. We were a bright-eyed kind of entrepreneurial little team coming together, and it was like, how hard can it be? And that naivete was really important. Naivete can be important for a young team because it gives you the gusto to go out there and do something that you're only able to do because you're just pulling it together somehow because you have this, you're running on some sort of like something bigger than reality, and that was really important. So we launched the first product, Charge Card. So talking about this card form factor, that's been a form factor for us from the beginning. The concept was, okay, keys, phone, wallet, these are the three things you need with you to go anywhere. Okay, maybe a passport, but you get the point. And so if we can, your phone is also becoming more and more important. This was when BlackBerry was really big. iPhone had been around for a couple of years. BlackBerry still had a lot of market share, but iPhone was kicking up big time. And the concept was, when your phone dies, it's an issue. That didn't used to be the case. I got my first cell phone when I was 16, and your phone died in the middle of the day. First of all, it wouldn't, because the battery lasted for like a week because it was a flip phone Samsung. And then if it did die, it was relatively low priority to charge it. There's these like studies of like when people leave home and if they'll turn around if they forgot something. Like, yeah, you leave your little flip phone at home, like whatever, just couldn't do that much with it anyways. And this all of a sudden with BlackBerry, really the importance of the phone just skyrocketed, and Apple picked up that baton and ran with it wonderfully with what they did with iPhone. And so this was a time where it's like keeping your phone charged is just really, 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 really important. And that's where Charge Card came in. It was a USB cable the size and shape of a credit card. And I had been living in Spain the year and a half before, working over there, and we all had Blackberries, and my phone was dying all the time. I was like, "There's got to be a better way to charge up." I'll never forget when I would bring an extra battery with me, and one of the senior guys at the company like asked if anyone had an extra battery on them, and that he would immediately give them 50 euros if he could use it. I was like, here you go. And it's like, okay, this is a real need. People's phones would die at night, and then they would go home. And if you know Spain, people are out really late. So it's just this sense of this issue and more potential to solve it, right? If you look at our next product was the Charge Key and so many more things that came together in everyday carry. So that's 12 years ago. The Brian and I have been working together ever since. The third guy trailed off after the Kickstarter. I don't think he had fully realized who he had partnered up with. We were like, yeah, once we launch the first product, then we launch a second one, a third one, a fourth one. It's like, well, I'm not sure I signed up to this like massive journey. Like I thought we were just going to go to the first little step of the journey. So totally fair on him. And we were always a bit cart in front of the horse. So it was like, well, we sold more, but we need to produce them. So we need to like make another product to like pay for the factories and this. Yeah. And it was all like, it was all chasing and building this thing. And it was such an exciting day when like a year and a half after launching, we were shipping quite early on, but then a year and a half after launching, we had finally like caught up to like orders received or like shipped that day. Cause it'd always be like 30-day back order, like 25-day back order, 20-day back order. So we, over the years, we've just continued to build products and tools for the modern nomad, keep you charged, keep you protected on the go. Apple Watch has been a huge part of this. And so seeing those things we're talking about in HomeKit and Apple Watch controls, it's exactly the type of thing we were expecting when we went big on Apple Watch 10 years ago. It was in 2024 that they unveiled it. And we were working on stuff for smartwatch right out of the gates. So this aligns with things that we see where, the Apple Watch is getting more and more utility, more and more power, more and more like a more than just a fun little toy to have on your wrist, but a capable device. So, these days as well, everyday carry has just grown. So we build a lot of things for AirTags, help you keep your stuff together. We have, we do the folio case. Okay, two things in one. Some people want that. Some people maybe want a slimmer case. And then we have a wallet. We have all these different things that kind of go together so you can create your get up. And like every modern nomad has their own style that might be a slightly different edit on it. Maybe they're a really heavy AirPods user or Apple Watch user. So we have a lot of tools that play in this interplay, high quality design, incredible materials, thoughtful minimalist design, and a focus on adding value to your life. Adding that value might be simplifying things through Find My, so you don't lose your stuff, right? So there's just been with all the developments in the space for the past 10 years, there's been so many wonderful ways that are exactly in line with those early concept of the keys, phone, wallet. Yeah, maybe it's AirPods too now. I think, man, when more utility, more stuff comes to AirPods, they just become increasingly important. So having them integrated into your GitHub is really important. So on that note, what I would say is 12 years in, we're busy. We're working on a lot of stuff. We're busier than ever. I'm so stoked on our roadmap right now. Qi and USB-C, obviously the standards we've been waiting for are finally here. Like it's been kind of fun to play the different standard changing every couple of years thing because it gives us something new to do, but there's no more no more lightning means that little lightning ecosystem's disappeared. Okay, I'm so grateful to have one standard. So I'm ready for it. There's almost like the beginning of a new era over these past couple of years, especially when Apple opened MagSafe with Qi2. So it's as exciting of a time now as it was 12 years ago when Lightning when Lightning came out. And so I'm stoked for where we've come from and where we are now and what we have ahead.
I still have so many questions to get to. Still thank you to everyone who's still watching the TikTok. We got a good 10 people keep popping in and out of here, which is very interesting. This is a fun thing to kind of try out. Anyway, you mentioned the Apple Watch, and this is not in my notes of what I was going to ask you, but have you seen this thing on Twitter? It's at the Tiny Pod. So if you want to look it up, but basically it is a case for your Apple Watch that turns it into basically like an iPod. and it's so cool. And
I haven't
honestly,
seen that. I thought that would come. I really believe this would come. I was just looking up iPods the other day because it's wild they don't even make them anymore.
I know I've got a
Um,
bunch sitting here
I
right on
mean,
my desk.
okay,
Got red ones
what
and white ones.
I have
Um,
to say, I like it. I don't. I wonder, will it be? Is it because we have this nostalgia? Is it actually super useful, badass
I don't
thing?
know,
Like, I
but
don't know. It looks cool.
what I'm wondering is, would this be even more useful with the new watchOS like 11 and Apple Watch AI tech built in? You could basically turn your Apple Watch into like a rabbit or a humane
No,
AI pin.
on it, I know because there are people who are like they're like they don't need an iPhone on their wrist. I get that, but they might want like the little minimally but importantly capable thing. I totally get it. Maybe it's like the remote for your home, right?
Yeah.
Because that's kind
Well,
of
I
what the
mean,
Apple Watch
a
is as
cellular,
well.
it's like usually like $5, I think, is like what I pay, like $5 extra a month to add cellular to my Apple Watch.
Yeah,
Like, I can use it as a humane AI pin or rabbit pin or an AI assistant. You don't have to wear it.
totally.
You don't want to wear it. I think this is really cool.
I think it's really cool. Love it. Love the design. Love the concept, and excited to try it out.
Well, going back to my other question, so you guys did launch on crowdfunding, and we've seen different approaches to modern crowdfunding. There are companies like Akara, ESR. I know I have more in my head, but there's these companies that are big. They're not small companies anymore. And yet, when a lot of times when they launch like a flagship kind of new product, they go to crowdfunding for it. Whether that, like, I don't think it's because they need the money. I think they could use it as a marketing play. You guys started, you did a few crowdfunding, and you've never gone back to it. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
Like, have you considered it, or what's your approach?
great question. We launched original on Kickstarter, and the next year we did Indiegogo. Love them both. Grateful to both of them, to the teams behind them, to the concepts and what they were doing. Especially like the earlier on. In those earlier days, we were 2012. That they'd been around for I don't know, a couple of years at that time. It's still pretty early. If you'll recall, Pebble had just
Yeah.
before then done a really big campaign. They did $10 million. They really in a big way put crowdfunding on the map. And I mean, I had learned about Kickstarter from a product I think I had read about in like TechCrunch, and it was crowdfunding. It was this really cool clock that went around in the whole year, and this beautiful, interesting design product. And but it was still somewhat recent, and I loved it at the time. It reminded me of couch surfing. I was really into couch surfing when I was in college, and just the whole concept of connecting with people, like and this oft, and it's just really neat. And we were an organic, authentic, genuine crowdfunded project. We were kickstarted, and that was that was what the idea was, right? This is the Kickstarter. The engine's going. Maybe you're not still running the little Kickstarter, which we found like that's what we did. We then started to notice that a lot of companies would like run a Kickstarter like it was like running an ads campaign. And I remember people even say that, like, oh yeah, and then like we'll run a Kickstarter, like we have an agency and like, like rain money, spend, and then you get some sales, and then you get all these people and da da da. And like, and it would work, but then it was like, okay, well, how do they have the money to do that if they're kickstarting? Then they're not really kickstarting. It's like they're boosting, and that's more like boost, which is a different concept. To be clear, like in a way, I guess we did that when we did Indiegogo the second time because but we kind of also wanted to try that platform and like so. So I power to people for using these tools in different ways, and I do think that there's super value for them coming in and connecting with the crowds and the responsibility that comes with, and the engagement that comes with, and I don't want to knock that too hard. I'm all for it. Continue to be a huge fan of Kickstarter, but we were like, if we didn't do Kickstarter, we would have had to do something else. I don't know how we would have done it. We needed these people to come together. We needed their money, and we needed them. We needed the customers, and we needed honestly, like something that's really important is we needed their validation when we had these like 5,500 people and they were like, where's my charge card? I need it. I'm in the Netherlands. I'm waiting for it. Like, I love it. I get it. I want it. Because we would go, I remember we went like viral in the Netherlands or went here with people around the world. Like, cool. I like the thing. I want it. Here's some money. Get it to me at some point. And, we were delayed 8 months. I'll never forget like reading, I think it was 8 months. And then I remember reading, and we always felt so bad about that. And we were working so hard to send these updates and get it out. And then I remember reading years later, like average Kickstarter delay is 8 months. And I was like, we're average. Yes. Yes, we're average. Because and then of course there's been some tragic cases of really cool, well-intentioned products that didn't quite make it for whatever reason. There's ones where they didn't realize how crazy big the shipping bill would be. And frankly, that could have been us. We were lucky. The charge card really was so thin. So the charge card was 1/10 of an inch thick. It was so thin that we could ship it with letter rate mail. And we could mail it anywhere in the United States. I think at the time it was like 49 cents or something. And then internationally it was like $1.09. So we would send them to like Norway and wherever else. And sometimes we'd send 2 and they'd be like, oh, where's my other one? It's like, yeah, it's coming. They didn't realize that they might be both shipping separately because we needed to be getting that letter rate mail because it's only like $1.09 or like $10. So there are aspects of a crowdfunding campaign that you might not be aware of up front. And that's why some of them are known to have some challenges. But we got kickstarted and then we were started up and then we started going. So that's what we did. We remain grateful to those platforms, but the point was we're going, okay, run another system on the side and then have to import all their order info. It's like we got going on Shopify right after Kickstarter. And honestly, Shopify was amazing and it's continued to be amazing, which is rare to say for over 12 years of being on a platform. So I'm super stoked on that early decision and how that that got us to where we are. And kudos to Brian for spotting that one early. This was a time where BigCommerce, Volusion, all these other platforms, Magento, Shopify was not the obvious choice then the way it is now. So because of that, we don't really need to do them, but power to them.
Well, let's go into, we talked about the Find My a little bit. I want to round this out with the Qi2 stuff. And I have thoughts on this. So this is your kind of your flagship Qi2 one right now, which is your, what is this? There's Stand 1. I want to say there's like Stand and Stand 1. There's a Qi2 and then a MagSafe version of this guy, right? So super duper heavy. Your charging puck there, glass surface. It's like all metal, USB-C. Great. I really like this. It looks so elegant and nice. But like one thing I noticed is like your price points aren't that different. Like you're looking at 100 for Qi2 versus 110 for MagSafe. What has it been like from the consumer response? Like, are they able to, I know you have a whole explainer even on your website of Qi2 versus MagSafe. And on top of that, like, do people really understand? And are you seeing people gravitate towards one or the other? On the podcast, which is a very Apple-centric audience, it's all about MagSafe. Everyone says like, I'm just going to buy MagSafe regardless of Qi2. Then I have other people who are like, I want it to be, whatever is cheaper. So what has it been like? What have you seen actually releasing a product?
So straight up, it has been confusing. So MagSafe came out was a couple years ago at this point, and then Qi2 came out quite recently, and Qi2 is really MagSafe, and it's been really confusing. It's been confusing for us. If you look at our product catalog, you'll see a lot of these similar related products. One's Qi2, one's MagSafe. We're generally going all to Qi2, and we as a company are focused on performance. We want to be best in class. We want the best. That's really important to us. So, if we're going to be doing a move like that, we need to make sure that the technology is where we want to be, and it's giving people the best, giving people the most value and the best service, the best performance. So It's been really confusing though, because first of all, we don't, unfortunately, Apple doesn't tell the world its big secret master plans. So we have to kind of like, we have our ear very close to the ground there, and we're pretty on it. But we have to make these big bets early on stuff. So it has been admittedly confusing for us. And if you look at our roadmap, or not our roadmap, but our catalog right now, you'll see that we have some products that we're still selling. Maybe we're getting out of one version into another. And another thing that came up in the midst of all this, Apple then launched Standby. So, okay, we got to make sure that the product design properly accommodates that. So we're in a bit of a metamorphosis ourselves in getting to Qi2 in our product lineup there, but it's finally coming together. So that's exciting. And because we're at the beginning of this new phase where I think we're going to there's going to be Qi3 in a couple of years, by the way, but it's going to be the same magnetic thing. It'll probably just be a little bit faster. I think we've really landed on a standard there now. It's going to allow companies like Nomad and other companies in our space and all over the place, public utilities, right? Public bus stations should have a Qi2 in it. This is being charging and connectivity to the internet it's like in my view, it's like a universal human right.
By the way, you mentioned like the standards, which is this is all very different from free power that you had originally launched with as the free placement wireless tech that you partnered with. And now they're off doing their own thing. We have talked about them because they're looking at different applications, like possibly putting into cars and countertops, because they can scale a lot more than an individual puck. But like you said, it seems like this, for the most part, is the standard, assuming we can get, Android makers fully on board, which I assume they will fall in line eventually. They were just slow.
This is the standard. This is absolutely the standard. Free power to them. They are still doing well, actually. There are some great stuff going on for integrated in-home and kitchen and perhaps surfaces where you really can benefit from that free power service. So they are continuing on that. We were very early to do that with them. That was right before MagSafe came out, and stoked to see that they've found their niche, which might be quite a large niche, actually. But as far as the standard between smartphones and so forth beyond those use cases, it really is Qi2. And MagSafe is Qi2, and Qi2 is MagSafe. So I'm hopeful of a time where bus stations, trains, airports, we're already seeing it, right? Where we're seeing more integration. So this habitual charging of you put your thing down to charge for a bit, it gets more integrated. And not just in places like here in California, in the US and developed countries, but in places where people have less access to power. I was having a chat yesterday with the product, Sean, the product manager for our power products. And we were going over a bit how, like, I mean, there's a lot of people in other countries where they might not have electricity. They walk to the nearest town to get to charge or walk far away to charge off a battery. So having public charging infrastructure that can actually work for the public, and that's a big thing about Qi and Qi2, or Qi2 and MagSafe is it's very secure. You can pour a can of food on top of it or whatever, clean it off and use it publicly. It's also secure from a data perspective, right? Because you don't have to connect your phone into some public thing or that thing's going to break. So the benefits of it are really substantial, both at home in our offices and desks and all those things, but really from a public charging perspective, which I think is just a really, really important thing. And as we learn more about that, and with a standard that can be around for a longer amount of time, investment can be made into these things. It's really hard to make investment into public infrastructure for charging when it's like a bunch of dangly cables and there's no standard and they all break all the time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe you don't want to give away too much of your stuff. Are you seeing a push towards one or the other right now? Like, I know things can change, and especially maybe Apple will discontinue MagSafe as an official thing and solely rely on Qi2. But are you seeing any? Where's the customer focus right now? Is it on the MagSafe or the Qi2 version?
So it's interesting because we have a really early adopter customer base, which tends to be very focused on the MagSafe. But what they really want is they want performance. And if we're seeing the same performance from both of these things, and the open standard Qi2 is a little bit less costly on a production side. Which, what does that mean for us? That means that we can hit a price point that's hit a lower price point, or we can use better materials in a different capacity. We can invest in building an even better product, right? If we're seeing similar performance, we're gravitating at this point towards Qi2. Monitoring.
Will you continue to make any MagSafe products, or are you going to go all Qi2 for now?
Right now we're actually going Qi2. That's open to if there were a reason to go MagSafe as well. So we don't have like a hard line drawn in the sand, or it is drawn in the sand, and if a MagSafe wave comes and wipes it away, then that happens. But we're committed to performance. We love standards. A universal standard is awesome. Kudos to Apple for helping make that happen with the Wireless Power Consortium. And that we see this as a really good thing for consumers, as a really good thing for, honestly, for the public interest. So it is hard to say what exactly is happening with MagSafe. Are they going to increase the speeds on MagSafe? Is Qi2 going to increase at the same time? So we're monitoring closely, and we're building. We are committed to always building best. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Well, to wrap this kind of up, I want to know if there's anything that you're looking forward to from WWDC, and if there's anything you want to tease product-wise. You just had stuff launched, but anything you can kind of, tease everyone with? Anything that we should look out for? Anything like that you want to leave us with?
Well, if you've been watching the video of this, I've inadvertently already teased an upcoming band that we have that's very exciting. So we honestly, I'm more excited we have the most exciting roadmap right now that we've had in years. And what's cool is it's in Apple Watch, it's in power, it's in portable power, it's in everyday carry. So it's a really exciting time at the company. And WWDC, honestly, AI, Apple, what are we doing? Okay, we had Siri 10 years ago now. And when Siri came out, that was so revolutionary. And Siri doesn't really work great for me. Kind of works when I don't want it to, and then doesn't when I want it to. It's solid, super impressive what they came out with super early on. Ready for a little refresh here, and I think that they've got some really, really big stuff going on there, and I'm really excited because I think what it's going to do is it's going to help be that connective tissue that we've been waiting for here, and I think it's going to bring a lot of power to AirPods, to this interplay of things, and give us that utility that we're beginning to see with HomeKit and so forth. So I think that's top of mind for me.
Awesome. Thank you for me. Oh man, I want to see all the smart home stuff. Obviously, I want to see so many improvements. I want to see new stuff for standby mode. I want to see docking kind of mode for iPads. I want to see Nomad, launch some smart connector version of a bespoke iPad dock. So many things that I want to see.
Love it.
I'm all over the board.
Love it.
Thank you for joining. This was a great episode. I hope you come back. Where do you want to send people? Where would you like to send people if they want to learn more about Nomad and everything else you guys are launching?
Yeah, just nomadgoods.com or Instagram handle @nomad, and always share. We did start on Kickstarter, crowdfunded. The crowd is incredibly important to us. We listen, so you can reach out to us, email out to us, whatever, get in touch with us if you have ideas or feedback. If you were an early backer of one of our products and you happen to have a quality control issue, please let us know. Companies grow and improve over time, and it's always hard to nail it when you're just getting started. So for people who've been around for a long time, get in touch. We're around, we're alive and well, and we care about you, and we are curious what you have to say.
Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. Make sure you guys give us a 5-10 100-star rating on your podcast platform of choice. Watch the video version of this at youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. Otherwise, catch you in the next episode. Thanks again.
Take care, Andrew.
Noah, we'll see you.